White man in boxing led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you. Get 18% off. We out.
All right, Bernard Hopkins gives his opinion on Errol Spence moving up to at least middleweight to fight Canelo Alvarez. Let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Share the videos. Kind of fix this. Up right there. Appreciate the love, support, everybody showing the channel. Check out our boxing news playlist. But basically, Bernard Hopkins said that Errol Spence ain't gonna be able to keep him off of him. He said he might be wrong, but he won't be a believer until he see it actually happen. And that Canelo is too big and his IQ is way too high for Errol Spence. So, I mean, he's saying all the conventional things, but we've seen in boxing before some unconventional things happen right before our eyes, you know. So, I mean, obviously, it's a lot of money, you know. I mean, they will legit sell out Cowboy Stadium or AT&T Stadium. They will legit sell that out, you know. And Canelo is opportunistic. So he says that he's not gonna turn Errol down. Of course he's not. Canelo's made a living off of fighting 140 pounders, 147 pounders, you know, making them blow up. He's made a living off of that. So what's so different about Errol Spence? You know, Errol Spence, good fighter. But do we got the power to keep Canelo off of him? That's the question. So people say, well, he don't hit that hard at 47 no more. That's because he drained. So if he move up and he comfortable at 160, he might can punch a little bit better. But the question, they arguing over bone. But the question is, can he take the punch and can he keep Canelo off of him? And really, Floyd kept him off of him with timing, hitting him at will, angles. But really, a lot of people didn't give Floyd credit because Floyd kept him off of him with really sitting there and punishing him. You know, Floyd hit him at will. He sat there and he punched through the target, you know what I'm saying? And that was at one point in that fight, they thought about stopping it. So it wasn't just about Floyd being slick and elusive and him running. He sat right in Canelo in face and beat him down. He sat there right with him, you know, and he held his ground and he beat him up. And at one point, like I said before, they was talking about stopping that fight in the corner. You know, imagine if Floyd was younger, he probably would have stopped Canelo Alvarez. But if he was younger, he wouldn't have had the mass on him. So that's irrelevant. But with Errol, what can he do that's trouble Canelo Alvarez? And usually with trouble Canelo Alvarez, southpaw, slick fighters, good perpetual movement, Erislandy Lara, Austin Trout, experienced fighter. So it depends what Errol chooses to do. If he walk Canelo down and he able to press Canelo back like he do most of his opponents, it should be interesting, but it really ain't about power. You know, Bernard, if he got power to keep him off of him, it's really about the intellect. It's really about the IQ. You know, it's really about, you know, can he be slick or can he do what Floyd did? Can he sit in his face and hit him and not get hit? And that's the question. Can Errol hit and not get hit? Versus Canelo Alvarez. And also, can he take the punch? Can he absorb the punishment? And that's what people got to understand. It's a different world when you're moving up in weight. And Rob Brandt, who should train with Errol, what Derek James said, he'd do fine at 160. He should spar all the time. So, you know, he gives Jermell everything he wants sparring, but my whole thing with that is he's perfected the style that Jermell has yet to perfect. So, I mean, it's looking at the fight. Could it go the distance? Yeah, you know, Canelo Alvarez didn't knock out a blown Chavez Jr. Yo, but what Bernard was saying that, he said, look at Canelo Cass, his IQ, you know, and it's something that Errol Spence ain't seen before. He ain't seen no opponent that's slippery as, you know, as Canelo Alvarez is at this point of his career. You know, he ain't fought no punchers. You know, so it ain't like he fought Randall Bailey because Randall Bailey said he ducked him. It ain't like he fought Randall Bailey. You know, and Randall Bailey probably punched harder than 90% of middleweights not right now. And he started off at 140 pounds. He went to 47 pounds. So he ain't fought no punchers. So that's what you think about. Like, he go to 54 and fight a Harrison, fight a Lubin, they can punch a bit. You know, he won't fight Jermell. He could fight a puncher. You know, it might work out for him, but then again, it's just so many things that he hadn't seen. He hasn't seen a fighter with that leg. Well, he ain't got no leg movement, with that upper body movement. You know, and that's why it was important for him to fight Keith Thurman and or Terrence Crawford to kind of get that slick style. But, you know, to be honest, all conventional thoughts say Canelo get the job done. And then Bernard said, I wouldn't fight him until he's 55 or 60. You know what I'm saying? When he for sure old. And really it's about the cash out. Errol Spence, he a fighter. He didn't endure pain. He went through accident. He endured ortho pain. He didn't feel back pain, leg pain, arm pain. He's a fighter. You know, but he see the bigger reward. Instead of fighting Terrence Crawford and fighting somebody in my own weight and getting embarrassed, I go up to 160, fight Canelo, I'm able to retire. He said he could retire right now, how much money he made. So, you know, he could retire right now. And he fight Canelo, shit, you know, he gonna make at least $20-30 million fight fucking with him. And all the black Mexicans gonna come out fight. I ain't buying that fight, streaming that hoe. I ain't about to watch no Mexican beat up no brother. But Bernard Hopkins right. It's something that he shouldn't do right now. I mean, you ain't even won 2 belts in 2 different weight classes. You know, you a one-time champion. You go up to 160, you might not be the same fucking with Canelo. But I see what he's saying, Canelo. Canelo don't really knock out opponents. So he thinking at least he can survive. But he taller than Canelo. He got range. He got length. But then niggas think they Trout. They think they Floyd. They think they Lara. They think they Triple G. And I don't think he nowhere near those level of fighters. If he move up to 160. He nowhere near that. But he got length. You know, maybe, you know, Canelo pay him to sit it down. Like he did Kovalev. We were talking about that behind the scenes. You know, but like Bernard said, that's a tough fight. That's a tough fight for him. You know, but when you see a guy like Canelo, don't knock out Callum Smith, don't knock out Danny Jacobs, don't knock out Chavez Jr. at 64.5. You see those situations, you say, man, I think I can do it. I think I can beat him. You know, he ain't punching like that, and that may be true. And, you know, maybe he think he could survive. Maybe he could think he can win. I think it's just the money. When you got so much money, when you could sit there and make more money than you made in your career, and you could legit retire, like, you know, and you got a guy that really don't hurt people, and he really ain't no finisher. You know, if Canelo beats you, it's by attrition. Usually it ain't by one punch. It's accumulation of shots. So, to me, that's just a fight. I ain't going to watch no black man get beat down. Or at least I ain't going to pay for it. There's going to be a lot of his apologies. Oh, he can do it. He can do it. He can do it. But then again, we haven't seen him fight the pinnacle of welterweight. We haven't seen him fight the last 3 guys that, quote unquote, were the guy in a lot of people's opinion. When you go back to Floyd, Pacquiao, Keith Thurman. You know, he hasn't fought those guys. So how you going to go up and fight Canelo if you ain't fought those guys and beat those guys? He ain't fought one slick fighter yet. I mean, I guess you can call Sean Porter slick. You know, but that's going to be interesting, man. But I think he's going to be comfortable. Going up 13 pounds. He's going to be more energetic. He's going to look like Kell Brook. Kell Brook looked full at 160. He had color. He looked strong. He looked filled in at 160 pounds. And a lot of people was looking like Kell Brook looked pretty good at 160. And he did. And, but then again, he got stopped. It's a different world up there. You know, I look at Errol Spence, man. He had to come up with he got to walk Canelo down. You know, keep Canelo on the back foot. But that's just, to me, that's a lot. That's a lot. But, you know, it'd be interesting, though. I'm with Hopkins, you know. But then again, in 2020, we seen, and then a couple years, last few years leading up to 2020, we seen some things that we didn't think was going to happen. So, you know, wish the brother good luck. If that's what he want to go up and do, and that's what Al advised him to do, you know how I feel about it. I don't want to see that. We'll see no brother get beat down. But if he triumph over Canelo, then you're talking about the politics. If he go in there and do the job, I'm talking about the politics. The politics in boxing. Canelo. He just going up there for money grab because you can't beat Canelo. It's politics. If you beat Canelo, you got to knock that joker out. And Earl, he ain't knocking dudes out at 47. And at 54, he can get, you know, 7 pounds. He can knock dudes out there. Maybe he can do it. But I think for him personally, that'd be in the slap in the face to the Charlo twins. That'd be the slap in the face for him to get that fight and them not to get that fight over the last 6-7 years. That just lets you know Canelo ain't going to turn down an easy fight. And he look at Earl as an easy fight, but he didn't call out Earl. Earl called out him, so it's going to be acceptable. But Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, call, response, or video request. All my social media links in the description. Twitter's the fastest way. Facebook, Instagram. We also got a Facebook group. All those links there. You want to make a financial donation. Cash App, CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. Cash App in the description as well too. Best way to donate to the channel. Share the video. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Let me know what you guys think of the video. One time for the one time. It's your boy CJ Goodfella Sports TV. We go.
Belief about
I'm on the phone.
You on the phone?
Yeah.
You looking at my baby?
No, I ain't
Right?
looking. No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, man. Next time we come outside, don't be staring and shit like that. I don't like that.
I wasn't looking at him.